Hey everyone, this is Dhruvin, and in this session we will be talking about pre-built AI model with Power Automate. We will be talking about power of AI with Power Automate and pre-built AI model. So during this session we will be discussing all you should know about pre-built AI model with Power Automate. We will be talking about some out of the box and pre-built model which are already available and easy to use for any of our requirement. So, without wasting much time, let's get started. First of all, let me give you a little bit introduction about me. Myself Dhruvin Shah, and I am working as Power Platform Specialist and Microsoft 365 lead in one of the company at Gujarat, Ahmedabad. I am an active blogger, YouTuber, having published 120 plus articles and 480 plus tech videos on my YouTube channel. You can follow me on all my social media handles, or you can just click on this link, that is linktree/thruvin.shah, where you will find me all my social media handles or email information. Just click over there and connect me over here. Now, let's talk about today's session agenda, that what we are going to cover throughout this entire session journey. So first of all, I am going to give you an overview about pre-built AI builder models that are available for Power Automate. So that will be the overview part. After that, I am going to cover different pre-built AI builder models in detail with real life example and scenario with Power Automate. Those models are language detection, where we will detect the language is using Power Automate. Second is translate language translation. So we will translate the languages using Power Automate. Third is text recognition. So here we will upload the image, and from image we will recognize the text. Then there is a sentiment analysis model, where we will find the sentiments from the provided text. Then we will talk about the category classification, entity extraction and key phrase extraction with the help of Power Automate. Now, first of all, let me talk about what is pre-built AI model. Basically, when we talk about any AI models, the first step is that we need to gather the data, then we need to build, train and publish our model. And then we can use that model against our real life business cases and scenarios. But AI builder pre-built model is something which help us to adding the intelligence to our apps and flow without gathering, building, training and publishing your model. It is available in out of the box manner that we can easily use that model for any of our business scenario. It's like plug and play type of thing, where we simply use the model and we can get the desired output. Now, let's say for an example, if we want to find the sentiments from our statement, that if it is positive, negative, neutral, then it is available with sentiment analysis model. We can simply call that model and we can find the sentiment from our statement. We do not need to train our entire model. Now, let's get started. Now, let's talk about some out of the box pre-built AI model which are available with Power Automate. Now, whenever you open your Power Automate and go to the build section of AI Builder, you would able to see some pre-built AI model available for your environment. Let me talk about that. At this moment, we can see that 10 different out of the box pre-built AI model is available. One is business card reader, category classification, entity extraction, invoice processing, key phrase extraction, language detection, receipt processing, sentiment analysis, text recognition, and text translation. During this session, we will only skip this business card reader, invoice processing, and receipt processing from this session. I have a separate video on that. Links are available in the description box. But rest of the model we are going to cover throughout this session. So let's get started with our first pre-built AI model, that is language detection. So language detection is something which identifies the language that is being used in the text. A language detection model analyzes the text and return the detected language and a numeric score from 0 to 1. Score 1 define the higher confidence and 0 defines the lower confidence. And the detected language is written in a script of the language. Now, there is one limitation for this language detection model which accept only 5120 characters. And at this moment, this many of languages are supported. So let me just click on this link and let me show you that how many languages are there. So once you open this link, it will open the official Microsoft documentation where you can see that how many languages does it support. So at this moment you can see that this many of languages are supported. Now let's check a real life example where we detect the language using pre-built AI builder model. So first of all, I have created one instant cloud flow over here, right? And I am just triggering this flow manually at this moment. And I just take one variable named sentence where I will just provide my sentence and it will detect the language from the sentence. Now, basically for all the AI builder action, I am going to talk about one action. We need to call that action. First of all, you just need to click on common data service and from there you just need to find an action predict. You simply need to select the predict action and from here you just need to select your model. So for this example, we are going to use language detection. So here you can see that we have a language detection model available. So we just need to select that and here we need to pass the text. So here we just need to provide our input that we have defined in the above step, that is sentence. So we just need to provide this thing over here, right? So for most of the cases we are going to use predict action, right? Now there is one another action also available for this thing. Let me talk about that as well. You can either use the predict or you can use directly AI builder action. It's totally your choice. So here we just need to click on AI builder and here you just need to have an option that detect the language being used in the text. Simply need to click on that and here you just need to provide the statement or sentence that you want to detect, right? Choose any action you wish. So here I used both the action over here, predict as well as detect language, right? Then we just pass the sentence and then we just initialize one variable named detected language and over detected language we are just printing the language from there, right? So here we are just printing the language from this predict action and here we are just printing the language from the AI builder action, right? Now let's taste the flow. Now first of all let me just add one of the statement over here. So I am just adding this German language statement and now let's see what we are getting as an end outcome. And here we are. Let's expand this and here you can now let's expand this and here we can see that language as DE means German. If you search the language code DE from Google, you will be finding German over there, right? Now from this one as well, we get the language as DE, right? Now let me taste one more language. I just added Hindi language over here. So in both the apply to each, we find the detected language as HI meaning Hindi, right? So this is working as expected manner. Now let's talk about text translation AI model in detail. Text translation pre-built model translate our text data in real time across more than 60 language and it remove the language barrier within your organization. The text translation model can detect the language of the text of data that you want to translate. Sometimes what happen here is we do not know that which language is being used in our statement. Sometimes we received some random text languages. Like let's say if I'm getting some content in Urdu or Hindi or French or Gujarati and I do not know that which language is this, then first of all this model identify that which language is being used over there and based on that it will translate that language to our targeted language. So at this moment there is one limitation here, that it will not support more than 5120 characters, right? Now let's talk about some real life example and use cases over here. So let me just move up my Power Automate, and here I just prepared one Power Automate flow. First of all, add a manual trigger. Then click on the plus icon and just expand the AI Builder. From AI Builder, just search for translate. And here you will find an action that translate text into another language. Select that language and pass the text as an input. So here we have defined the sentence over here, and TL means translated language, in which language you want to translate. So whatever the language that has been detected from our statement, we want to translate it to English. So we need to pass English over here, and here we need to pass sentence, right? So let's pass sentence over here and translate to. Let's pass the TL variable over here. So from here, let's select custom language, and here let's pass our variable TL, right? So I already added that, so let's remove that. And at last we initialize the variable, and we just printed the translated text. Now let's taste a flow. Now let's say for an example I am adding some French. Now let's say I'm just adding some German content over here, and we just wanted to translate it to English. So I'm just passing English over here. So let's run the flow and let's see what we are getting as an end outcome. So here you can see that we passed this German language and we want to translate to English. So translated text is nice to meet you, which means, so it is exactly same. And the language that has been detected over there was German, which is DE, right? So it translated that thing perfectly. Now let's say I just wanted to have some Gujarati content here, and now I just want to translate it to English. So I'm just passing Gujarati to English, and now let's run the flow. So let's see. So here you can see that that was my Gujarati content, and it detected that language as Gujarati and want to translate it to English. So it converted that perfectly. That night curfew will be observed in 4 metros of the state from the 1st of February to 6 am. 200 people will allowed to marry, right? So it exactly converted the thing, and I am really impressed with the result of this language translation over here. That is awesome. Now let's say I want to do one more tweak. Let's say I have some Hindi or Urdu content here. Now let's say I have some Hindi content here, and I want to convert that Hindi content to German language. So I'm just passing Hindi to German, and let's run the flow. So let's see what we are getting here. And here we are. The Hindi content is converted to German content, and it awesome. So that is how our language translation AI model will work. Now let's talk about the text recognition model in detail. So text recognition model is automatically process the text from the images. Now let's talk about what is text recognition model. The text recognition model is something which extracts the text from the images. It uses state-of-art optical character recognition technique to detect the printed and handwritten text from the images. So we all know about the OCR technique. So basically it uses that method in order to detect the text from the images. Now let me talk about what are the supported language, format and size at this moment. So at this moment it support Dutch, English, French, German, Italian, Portuguese and Spanish language. It support JPG, PNG, BMP and PDF format. And the file size should not be more than 20 MB at this moment. Now let's create a flow for that. First of all, I just created manual trigger flow, and similar way we just added the predict action over here. So you simply need to click on add action, just need to go to the common data service and just need to search for the predict simply, right? And then from predict action we just need to find out text recognition model. Let's select that. That's all, and we just need to provide the image over here. So in manual trigger we just took input as a file, so we just had a file here and we just need to upload our image over there, right? So we just need to pass that input image variable over here like this, right? And at last, and then we just initialize one variable that extracted lines, and that is in form of array. Now in apply to each, we just applied a loop on the result variable, and each read all the lines and it appends the array variable over here, right? And at last in compose we just printed that extracted lines that we have defined over here, right? So this is the overall thing that we have done here. So first of all we applied the loop on result and then applied the loop on the lines, and from there we just find out this detected text, right? Now let's make some test over here and let's check the end outcome that we are getting here. So let me just click on test and let me just click on manual test over here. Let's hit save and test. And now we just need to upload the image. So I'm just uploading one image from my downloads, that is OCR example. And now I'm just clicking on run flow. And before we do that, let me show you that image as well, so we will get a better idea that if we are getting the proper outcome over there or not. So I just opened up that image. So this is the image that I have uploaded. This is prerequisites section, and these are two paragraphs been written here. And now this flow is something which will use the OCR technique to detect the text from this image. So now let's click on done and let's see what we are getting here. And here we are. In compose action, we are getting the entire text in detail over here, and you can see that it has detected line by line because it is using OCR technique. So let's see, you can see that it read the first line, then second line, then third line, then fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. So it uses the simple OCR technique to read line by line over here, right? And if I go through this loop, let's see. So first of all we are getting result, and under result we are getting each line, and each line is appended to the array variable. So you can see that 11 lines are detected, so 11 lines are appended to the array variable, and at last we are consuming our array variable over here, right? So this is how the text recognition AI builder model will work here. Hope this helps you. Now let's talk about our next AI builder model, which is sentiment analysis. Now first of all let me talk about what do we mean by sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis is something which is useful to detect the positive or negative statement or sentiment from our text data. This is mostly useful while we want to identify the positive or negative social media content, customer reviews, and text data that we are interested for our business. Now, let me talk about in which real life use cases and scenario this concept is useful. So let's say you have some Twitter account and you have some customer review received on your Twitter as well as any of your custom portal, and you just wanted to identify that if your customer had posted positive, negative or neutral sentiment, then you can use this pre-built AI model where we are simply passing those tweets over there, and based on that we can identify that the sentiment is positive, negative, neutral or mixed. So this is something which is very helpful for our organization. And based on that, let's say if we have received some negative tweets or negative comments, we can perform some immediate action on that. We can expand our flow that if there is negative tweet received, then we can notify the users via email and they can promptly action on that. So basically this is something which is really useful for our real life businesses. Now, at this moment, the sentiment analysis is something which supports four type of sentiment: positive, negative, neutral, and mixed. And it returns the value in a form of a document score and a sentence score. In both the score, 0 means lower confidence and 1 means higher confidence, right? So now let's talk about some real life use cases over here. So similar way, here I just created one manual trigger flow, and here I just use as a variable. Now we just need to add an action over here. So basically you can use common data service, and from there you can just go to the predict action, and from here you can simply set sentiment analysis. Here you just need to pass the language, and here you just need to pass the text. So here I am passing the text as statement that you have defined. So let's search here as a statement, right? And then there is also a second option which will work the similar like this. We simply need to click on plus, and we just need to use AI builder, and then we are just using analyze positive or negative sentiment from the text. So we just need to select that, and from here we just need to select our language, and we just need to provide our text, right? So I already did that, so I'm not doing that again. And now at last it is providing our sentiment, that what is it, positive, negative, neutral, right? So we are just sending the push notification over there, right? So now let's taste over here and let's check the sentiment analysis. So let's save and taste. Now let me add some feedback over here. So I'm just adding a statement like, I'm usually impressed by the level of care I received and would just like to say thanks. I'm adding the sentence like this. Now let's say what type of sentiment we will receive here. So here we can see that we have received the positive sentiment over here, and the score is 1, which means it's higher confidence, right? Similar way, from this action as well, we will receive the positive sentiment, right? So this is how this pre-built AI builder sentiment analysis is working. Now let me just add some negative feedback over here. So I just added a statement that very poor service by customer service executive. And now this is the negative sentiment. So let's see what we will receive here. And here we are. You can see that we have received the negative sentiment over here. Yeah, you can see that sentiment is negative and the confidence is also higher, right? So this is how we can perform sentiment analysis with pre-built model. Hope this is clear for you now. Now, let's talk about our next AI builder model, which is category classification AI builder model. At this moment, specifically for AI builder, we have two types of category classification model available. One is custom model and second one is pre-built model. Here we are going to talk about pre-built model, which is already built, trained and published. And custom model is prepared based on our custom needs and custom business requirement. The pre-built model in the category classification which is available at this moment, it is prepared based on the customer feedback uses. So if your business requirement is around the customer feedback, then definitely you can use this category classification model. Otherwise, you need to go with your custom category classification model. Now, this pre-built category classification model is ready to use AI model that is configured to classify your text into categories that are useful for specific business scenario. Now, let's talk about some supported format and languages. So at this moment it supports 5000 characters, and it supports English, Chinese, French, German, Portuguese, Italian and Spanish as a language. Now let me talk about one real life example for category classification. So let's say for an example, you have received some feedback from your customer and you just wanted to automatically categorize that statement and wanted to transfer for appropriate department. At that time, this concept is very useful. Now, at this moment it support this many of languages: English, Chinese, French, German, Portuguese, Italian and Spanish. And at this moment this uses customer feedback pre-built model. So the end outcome will always be issue, complement, customer service, documentation, price and billing and staff. So basically whenever we pass any statement, it will automatically find out that what would be the end outcome for that particular statement. So it categorize that into this six different part. Now don't worry, I'm going to give you the example so you will get a better idea on that. Now let's go to our Power Automate, and now we just manually trigger a flow and we are passing the sentence over there. And we will just use the common data service as an action, and now here we will just use the predict action. Here we just need to provide category classification model, and we just need to provide this language. So English is supported, and let's say we are passing our sentence over here, right? So I did the same thing. Now let's say we just need to pass. Now let's save the taste. Now let's click on taste and let's see what we are getting as a category classification. So let's say for an example, I just wanted to add one statement here. Let's say, let me just save and taste. And I'm just adding a statement that I am usually impressed by the level of care I received and would just like to say thanks. So here you can see that it is about the compliment, right? So here you can see that at this moment it categorized into six different part, like issues, compliment, customer service. So it is about the compliment. So we will get the compliment as an end outcome. So let's expand this. And here you can see that complement, and here you can see that the score, right? So that has detected properly. Now let's taste few more things. I'm just adding a sentence like the employee were friendly and polite, and now let's hit run flow. And here you can see that we have received the type as staff. So basically it's about staff, so it categorized that thing as a staff. Now let's say I just added statement that I want to refinance my home loan this year to reduce the cost. So it is all about the price and billing, right? So let's see what we are getting. So here we can see that its type is received as price and billing, right? And now at last let's provide some customer service related thing, and let's see what we are getting here. Microsoft customer service helped to resolve this issue, right? So if we add that statement, let's see what we are getting. It categorizes that statement automatically for customer service. And similar way, let's add some more thing. I just added one issue like unable to submit my nomination due to internal server errors. And let's hit run and let's see what we are getting here. So it detected that thing as issues, right? So that detected perfectly. In similar way, let's click on edit and let me just hit manual save, and let me just add the sentence. And I just added like for detailed video on my category classification, please visit the URL. So basically this is something like uh, more about the documentation thing. So let's see what we are getting. So it detected that as a documentation. So as per this different type of categories, we talked all types. Like if the sentence meaning is issue, then it detected as issue. For complement, it detects this one. Like let's say if we had added some customer service related thing like the customer service support was great and everything, so it detected that as a customer service. Like if we have the statement like for more information look this and this, then it detected as a documentation. For any type of finance related thing, it detected as a price and billing. And for any type of employee related thing, it detected as a staff. So whatever the statement that we are passing, based on that it categorizes the thing, and based on that we can expand this flow as well. Like we can email to appropriate department based on the categories. So this is how this pre-built AI builder category classification model is working. Now let's talk about our next AI builder model, which is entity extraction model. So basically, this entity extraction extract the entities and the types from the text. Now, what do we mean by that? Let me talk about that. So let me talk about this entity extraction model in very easy word. Sometimes you have some unstructured data received in your business scenario. You have received this thing in form of email or document or chat messages. Like let's say if you are owning your recruitment company, then most of the time on Skype or in the Teams, you have received the candidate information. Like the candidate name is this, his birth date is this, his position is this, and his current salary is this thing. Now, all the data that you received from your chat and your emails is not useful. Only specific entities are useful. Like let's say from that unstructured data, you only wanted to have the employee name or email address or their phone number or their designation or their salary. You do not need any other thing, and you want to convert your unstructured data to the structured data. At that time, this entity extraction pre-built model is useful you a lot. At this moment, it only supports up to 5000 characters, and it supports English, Chinese, French, German, Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish language. Now, one more thing here. At this moment for AI Builder, we have two types of entity extraction models available. First one is pre-built model and second one is custom model. So in custom model, you can define your own custom entities as well. But here in this particular example, we can use only the pre-built entities. So age, at this moment, this many of entities supported like age, city, color, continent, country, date and time, duration, email, event, language, money, and so much, right? So these are the different entities which are supported at this moment. Now let's talk about the flow in the detail. So first of all, what I did here is I just added some manual trigger and added sentence as a input. And now I just use the predict as an action. So just add an action, just go to common data service and just use predict action. Now here you just need to select your model. So basically I just wanted to select from here as entity extraction model. We just need to provide the language and just need to provide the input that we are using here. So I already did that, and now let's see how many entities we are received from here. So let me add some sentences. So here you can see that the candidate name is, so here I just added some statement that the candidate name is Rohini Shah. She is working as BI developer and she has 5 years of experience. Her birth date is this and she is single. She is living at India and her email address is this one. Now let's say I'm just hit run flow and what we are getting here. So here you can see that in response it detected the different field. Now let me talk about those fields. So first of all, it just identified person name as Rohini Shah, then organization or designation as BI developer, because designation is not supported in model, so it detected as organization. Then duration 5 years it has detected, perfect. Then her birth date is this one, it is perfect. Then let's say her email address is also detected perfectly. So it extracted all the useful information from this model, right? So this is really amazing. Now let's say I just wanted to add some more statement, so we'll get more context over here. So let's say I just added a statement like Tata Industry booked 67% profit margin this year. And now let's hit run and let's see what we are getting here. So here you can see that the organization name is Tata Industry, which detected perfectly, and then this year is detected as a date time, so that is also perfect. So both the entities perfectly detected. Sometime what happen here is your business requirement is somewhat different, then definitely you need to go with your custom model and you just need to define the custom entities, right? But yeah, for definitely for minor purposes this model is really helpful. So I just added a statement like Dhruvin gained 8,000 subscribers this month. So Dhruvin is a person name, and this month is a date time, and 8,000 is detected as a number. That is absolutely perfect, right? So this is how our entity extraction pre-built model is working here. Now in real life scenario, what you can do is after you get this result you can apply to each and add those and store that information to your SharePoint list. So it's totally dependent on you that how you utilize this entity extraction pre-built model. Now, let's talk about our last topic of this session, which is key phrase extraction. Now, what do we mean by key phrase extraction? So, that will extract the key talking point from the text. So, let's say for an example, sometime what happen here is we are adding some statement. So, what it will do is it will just identify the most important points from our unstructured data. So let's say if we add some candidate information as an input, then what it will do is it will find the useful entities or useful statements from there and add it line by line. It will not define any of category over here. It will just identify the key phrases from the statement. So let's talk about that with the practical example. So here I just created one flow for key phrase extraction. And here you can see that I just triggered the manual flow and just passing the sentence and use the predict action and just use the key phrase extraction model. So you just need to select key phrase extraction from here and you just need to pass the language as English and sentence over here, and from apply to each we are getting all the results. So now let me just add some statements over here. So I'm just adding a statement like the monthly sales in Seattle was down 5% in March 2019. Now let's see what are the important phrases it has detected over here. Apply to each. It detected two statement, and now let's see. So that was about the monthly sales, and second statement that is detected is Seattle. Seattle is the city, right? So two important points has been detected. Now let's see. I just wanted to add one more thing. Dell laptops are out of stock from Ahmedabad city. So now I just hit done and let's see what we are getting here. So you can see that Ahmedabad city and Dell laptops and out of stock. Three important things has been detected from this key phrase extraction. So it only detects some important key points. That's all. Right? So I think I covered almost everything for our pre-built AI builder model. Hope this helps you. Or let's say you just need to click on this link and you just need to click on every element from here. When you click on that, it will redirect you to new screen, and from there you can follow me on all my social media handles. These are the URL for social media handles, or you simply need to click on this link. It will be redirecting you to the same link that is provided here. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any updates from my channel. Stay connected with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and WhatsApp. Also, if you wish to listen different Power Platform podcast, click on this link. It will be redirecting you to this new screen. From here, you can listen your favorite Power Platform podcast on different podcast platform like Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify and much more. Also, if you are interested to listen different audiogram related Power Platform, here is my Instagram account. Click on that. It will redirect you to the Instagram page. From here, you can listen your different audiogram over there. Also, if you are interested for short video of Power Platform, here I have created a separate channel for that, that is Digital Dhruvin. From there, you can subscribe my channel, and From there, you can subscribe my channel and learn different short videos related Power Platform. This is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next session. Have a great day. Goodbye.